You've been taking ritalin?
Yeah.
Yes. For how many years?
6 years.
Well, what happened?
Well, it's really because I was ADHD. They found out that I was like hyperactive.
Like what were you doing?
And I got tested. Well, I had a short attention span, shorter than usual, and it was just in school. I was just very hyper.
You took ritalin today?
Well, it's Concert. It's the same. It's a different.
Oh, Concert.
Yeah.
You take Concert. That's the one that lasts 24 hours? Or?
Well, it lasts like Ritalin, but it's smoother. There's time release, which means it releases into your body slowly, and with Ritalin, there's ups and downs. Like your moods can change slightly. Concert is more solid.
You mean you get upset, or you get depressed?
No, it's just you change. Like you're just mood.
So this one you take it in the morning?
Yeah, at school to help me focus.
And then when you come home, you still feel the effect?
Yeah.
Like if you really...
Well, it just helps me study when I get home.
Like if I take it now, what would I feel?
Well, I don't know about you.
Because it's different. But what do you feel when you take it? You feel relaxed? You feel cool?
No, I feel the same as I usually do. I'm not as hyper, not as off the walls all over the place.
Did you try not to take the pills?
No, I don't take it every day. I only take it when I'm going to school.
Did you ever do other drugs? I mean, like marijuana?
No.
Never.
The pills have also taught me to, even when I'm not on them, to calm down. And take a test would just be too long. I would just start moving around. And
did you notice any negative effects on the Ritalin or the Concerta, or both? Or?
Negative effects would be just loss of appetite slightly. You're not hungry as much.
Insomnia? No.
Well, if you take it too late, you don't want to take it. It wears off usually before you go to sleep.
Did you tell your friends in school? Or?
By now they all know though. It's not a big deal.
There's a lot
of my friends take them.
The girls too?
Yeah.
What would you want to say to the Italian kids?
Who need it? That you should definitely not be scared. If you really are proven and tested that you need it, then you should definitely take it, because it's not even that it'll make you another person. You're still the same person. It just moves around chemicals in your head that makes you able to focus better. You're just able to do things easier, and I think it's wrong in a sense to say that it's wrong to take it.
Did you also do psychotherapy?
It's not really linked to that. In a general case, if you're just naturally hyper and you don't cause problems, then you probably wouldn't see a shrink.
And did you ever think, oh, maybe I can do something else? I don't know, drink a chamomile tea. They have alternative stuff on the internet. They say, oh, we have natural things. There's one called Focus.
You take the pills, but it's not like you get addicted to it also. That's another thing. It's not an addictive drug. It's just that it makes it easier. It levels the playing field where I can focus now as much as another person. And I know people in my school say like, oh, like he's cheating, he's taking pills to focus, but it's not. Like, I'm amazed at how well I've been doing in school. I'm getting straight A's.
I had another question, I forgot. It's HDD. Did they tell you how long you're going to have to take this? Did you ever ask?
No, I never asked, but I'm not gonna. It's more for school. It's not for. I don't know how to answer that question. I'm not quite sure.
From the day he was born, it was different. He didn't stop moving, hyperkinetic, always moving, always.
Mm-hmm.
And
you just call him the blur.
He was I mean, I just.
So when did you
have him tested, evaluated?
Yeah.
Well, you know,
so
sometimes sometimes you,
Yeah,
you know, from a lot of reading and things like that, and trying to find out what was going on. You know, no mother wants to put their child on medication. You feel like, I don't want to do that.
I was very upset about it.
So, but in the house, it was like crazy, like.
He's pretty wild
Running
kid.
around.
No, not out of
No,
control.
he wasn't.
Not out of control. He was always a lot of energy.
He did even more so than really poor impulse control.
Do you think it impairs the creativity if you take Ritalin? Or those things?
Yeah, I think it does.
You
I think it
do?
does a little bit, but it's hard to say. It's just.
Did you try it?
Ritalin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on it now. Actually, I'm gonna
You
take it
have
now.
to?
Yeah, I just started taking it.
You too?
No, I have taken it. I do take some.
I started taking it about I don't know, a few months ago. It's fantastic. It's great.
You
It makes
take
you
it every
focus.
day?
So how you
Take
get
it every day.
your
Concerta
I take Concerta every day, and I don't know. You know, I used to think that it would probably inhibit creativity. It's a different kind of thing. Your creativity, the sort of wandering, is changed, but now I'm much more focused. So when I'm more focused, I can actually get the things done that I think of. So what is creativity? You know, you have a lot of ideas, but if you don't do anything with it, then what good is it? It's nothing. I would be doing 10 things simultaneously before this. 10 things. I mean 10. I'd go here, this, and I can feel myself crumbling as it wears off later.
Like a
in the
New
day.
York thing.
Well, no, it's not even that. Some people can kind of multitask and get those things done. I would go from one thing, and if it was at all difficult, I'd go to another thing, and then turn to another thing, and then wander into another
I
thing.
can describe
Now, though, I focus on things, and I actually get them done. And I still have the clarity and awareness to be creative. So, you know.
When did you start? And
Just
why?
a few months ago.
But why? Just like that, you said, oh, I'm gonna try this.
I used to take Zoloft for a long time. Which is
So your doctor told you?
So I found a new doctor, and he did this whole test thing. They do this like questionnaire. It's obvious. I mean, when they're asking the questions, do you do this? Do you do that? Do you jump around? Do you move? You know. And at the end of it, he said, "Well, you're ADHD." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, you're adult ADHD. You are actually diagnosed as that."
But do they do like a chemical test?
No, this was all just
Or just
psychological.
Well,
Psychology.
There isn't a blood test, but there are a lot of like, let's say there are heart rate tests one can do there, but not really blood work because it's not in the blood. So it's not as though you could take.
I heard there is like a scan, a brain scan.
Right, you could do a brain
Maybe I
scan.
never did
You can see things
CAT
in
scan?
the brain. No, a brain scan.
The state of medicine in regard to attention deficit disorder is that we know it's a powerfully genetic disorder. And that's been clearly documented. So father, son, mother, daughter, this is much more powerfully genetic than diabetes. There is no one test. The research basis, which is the science as opposed to the medical practice, is based on a great deal of knowledge now, which shows clear changes in abnormality in brain chemistry. But those tests that are used for that from a research point of view are not used now clinically. They involve radioisotopes. We don't use radioisotopes because of the risk of injecting radioisotopes. The more new technology, which within a few years will be used from a diagnostic point of view, is something called a fast MRI. And what it can do is take a series of pictures of the brain while you're doing something like being interviewed or reading a book. This shows the brain functioning. We do this test, and while we're doing it, and we're a normal group, what we find is that the part of the brain in the middle, cingulate gyrate, lights up and says, this is where the brain is putting its energies. This is where it's metabolizing glucose, okay?
Right.
Right in the middle. Then you take someone with attention deficit disorder and you give them the same task to do while they have an fMRI, right? And lo and behold, instead of being in the center, it's on both sides. Then you take that same person, right? Now we put them on medication, okay?
Right.
And we have them do the same task again. And lo and behold, they go from being scattered
Back to the center.
and they look indistinguishable from the control group.
Is there a way to come out of this condition?
Hyperactivity seems to resolve in 80+% of people
In how many years?
in around puberty.
Ah.
So what we find is that statistically, once you've passed a certain point, 80% of people do not outgrow this disorder. However, you can compensate for it.
They'll be in medication all their lives?
Some people are, some are not, and some might use it selectively. I have an adult woman who's a lawyer, so she'll use her medication when she has to read volumes and volumes of flat material.
Right.
When she's in court, her normal activation
I just come.
doesn't require it.
What's the percentage in the
The
population?
general view now is that 6 to 8% of the population has this disorder.
You know there is a conspiracy theory?
Yes, I know.
That
I
they
know
say
probably
there
every
is
part of it.
the company that does ritalin and now, or that did ritalin now does Concerta, or one of those, is just invented this whole thing.
What are drugs? They're chemicals, right? Basically, they're things that change your hormones or your chemicals in your body, and this changes the chemicals to the point where it helps a lot of people. Some people it does nothing for, and other people it may do harm. I have no idea. But all I know is that in his case, and in my case certainly, it's been fantastic.
Well, this is
It's
what
not fake. It's nothing fake about it.
What do you think about that?
You have to have that chemical imbalance. You have to be ADD in order for it to work properly. Because if someone without ADD took it, it wouldn't necessarily work.